This is your Mountain View News.
Welcome to another edition of the Mountain View News. I'm Army Sergeant Sam Dillon. Coming up on this edition, Australian troops turn a former insurgent stronghold into a joint operating base. Afghan Army recruits graduate basic training, and the Afghan government expands foreign relations. Australian and Afghan National Army soldiers teamed up in an effort to build a new combat outpost at a former insurgent stronghold located in the URUZGAN province. Before construction began, Afghans learned the importance of securing the location and clearing the site of unexploded ordnance. Sergeant Matthew Diaz takes us to the soon-to-be-complete joint base.
Transitioning to an Afghan security lead requires establishing a permanent presence in areas liberated from insurgent control. Australian forces recently provided the necessary training and equipment for ANSF to build a patrol base in a former insurgent stronghold located in West URUZGAN, URUZGAN province.
We've got two mentoring lines, as discussed earlier. We have the mobility support, so we teach them how to search utilising mine labs to provide security to the ground forces when they're moving through areas. We also teach them the construction side of the house. They do two parts of the construction, just general sort of basic carpentry skills, and we also teach them how to operate their plant machine, such as the 30-ton excavator in the background there.
The new base construction is part of Operation Boston, intended to expand the security footprint in URUZGAN. Australian forces mentored Afghan National Army soldiers in order to establish a permanent presence in the village.
As far as we excavated, so the engineers teaching them how to build and construct, utilise their plant equipment instead of using the shovels, will allow them to hold the ground, construct on it, and really from there be able to dominate the area around them in a much more efficient manner.
To effectively transition full control over to the ANSF, a strong foundation must be established. Patrol bases like this are a foundation for lasting security for the Afghan people. Sergeant Matthew Diaz, 10th Mountain Division, Public Affairs.
Learning the basics of warfare, discipline, and teamwork are the necessary building blocks for any incoming soldier. Specialist Dylan Townsell takes us to an Afghan basic training site in southern Afghanistan to meet the country's newest defenders.
At the Regional Military Training Center, Kandahar, recruits in a massive formation wait to be called soldiers. These 1,500 Afghan men know the skills needed to defend their country and are ready to join the Afghan National Army now that the training days are over.
This is our country. Our country needs our help. Our country needs our assistance. I'm really proud of myself that I joined here.
Coalition forces working with NATO Training Mission Afghanistan, or NTMA, now watch the Afghan commanders shape their own troops into a stronger force and a protective presence.
They understand the basics. The instructors are experienced now. Everything's coming natural to them. We don't have to hold their hand anymore. It's basically A&A led.
The eager recruits on this field represent Afghanistan's confident future. A new generation of commanders and leaders ready to stand up for their country. From the Regional Military Training Center, Kandahar, Afghanistan, Specialist Dylan Townsell, 16th MPAD.
Iran and Afghanistan share a 900-kilometer common border, which insurgents and narcotics smugglers use to transit opium and heroin to the west. Iran Interior Minister Mustafa Mohammad Najjar and visiting Afghan Minister of Counter-Narcotics Zarar Ahmad Makbel recently signed an agreement for increased cooperation in the fight against drugs. Najjar said that the continued cooperation of fighting terrorism, organized movement, and securing the border control is important for securing their borders. That's it for this edition of the Mountain View News. I'm Army Sergeant Sam Dillon, and thanks for watching.